Hello everyone, welcome to Redbusters channel. In this video, we look at the latest H1B 2027 lottery results details. Because as we have now a lot of updates from quite a few attorneys, and we look at a sample selection notice as well, and how you can actually check and what to be looking for, in the next few days. So that's what we'll cover in this video. So this is what we'll cover. We'll quick look at the background, what are the results, updates from attorneys, and then we'll look at a sample selection notice and what some of these fields mean, and then look at overall timeline, what you're looking at and all of these. So if you can subscribe to our channel, do subscribe for getting regular updates. So just to give you a background, right, of what is happening, for the FY 2027 season, registration period was between 4th and 19th. There is a very few hours extension until 5 p.m. that day. But other than that, nothing major, right? So this is the first year where they're doing the weighted wage-based selection lottery, and there are some more things which are basically 100,000 fees, supplemental fee that will apply for applicants outside the year. So it's kind of a first time that's many of these changes are in for this year. So that's what's different for this season. And did mention that they'll have the results announced with 31st, but based on past history, right, they really don't announce it on the last day. They come in few days before and then they trickle in for a few days, right? So below is what you see, past lottery results timelines. For example, if you look at FY 2026, the registrations, the period closed on 24th, and the results came on 27th, and the official announcement came on 31st. So 2024 is pretty close to what we had this year, 20th. 24th and 27th. But surprisingly this year, we've been waiting since beginning of the week, but nothing has happened until today. So I think if you see, most of these are coming on 27th. So this is when they really start, and we can expect the official announcement anytime soon. So just this is to give you a perspective of how things have come in the past and how they actually trickle in. So they come in slowly. That's the idea behind all of these past historical data for you, right? Now, in terms of result update, right? So basically, we have updates from quite a few attorneys right now. So, attorney Stephen Brown and Emily Newman from Redeem Brown PC, right? They have basically updated first earlier a few hours ago that they're seeing selection notices. And in fact, none of them were notified. There is no email alert from USCIS. You must manually log in to the H1B selections portal and refresh so that you can see the results, right? So that's the idea. You're not going to get any notifications at the moment. They're not coming in. And in fact, Emily updated that she has selection notices for all the 4 wage levels, right? Not just level 4 and level 3. And Tony, she also reported for wage level 3 and level 4 that she has, and also Amber Davis. So we have few attorneys, right? Again, we'll put a link in the description for the article that has all the updates. We do update every day so that you can check out each of them and, look all of them in closely. But on a high level, right? So we have quite a few attorneys who already said, and also some people from immigration, corporate immigration also has updated that, right? So we do have updates and these are real. It's not like, it's not fake news. That's what I'm trying to highlight there, right? So there's credible evidence. But so far, we don't have a lot of community users update that because it's just the timing is very different. It's a Friday and, you don't have access to many of these employers and calling them updating. So that's why not yet with applicants. So we'll see more from community over the weekend and, updates will come in. So that's the idea, right? So now that we know the results are in, we also, were lucky enough to get a sample selection notice from one of, attorney Stephen. Attorney Stephen was kind enough to share this with us, right? So thank you to him. So if you look at the selection notice for 2027, it's slightly different from what has happened in the past, right? So, I mean, some standard things like you see on the screen, right? The beneficiary confirmation number starts with 2027, and you see the case type. All of these are pretty standard, right? So you can get a zoomed in version on our website. So I'll put a link in the description so you can look at that, so that you can look at the details, right? But the key thing is, they have now 3 more fields here. Basically, the wage level that you submitted and the SOC code and the area, right? And they also have some details beneath that tells that you can, if you submit below that wage level, you will get a denial or revocation notice. That is what that is what the key updates or differences are. And as you can see from the selection notice, the filing period is between April 1st and June 30th, which is pretty standard. You get 90 days right to file. So other than these wage level things and these, other than these two, other major, everything else looks pretty much the same, right? And again, you have to check the USA's website for the way to send and all of that. That's what your employer would do, right? But all in all, it is the new selection notice reflects the changes that I put in, and you can't really substitute or transfer this. Let's say an employer applied for you, and you got the selection through them. You can't really transfer that like an H1B petition that you typically do, after your approval and all of that, right? But registration doesn't work like that. You can't really transfer, and so that's what it is, right? The main things to note. Again, this page 2 is pretty standard. There is nothing right in here. Some notice for people with disabilities and some standard information, but nothing more to look at that. Again, the filing window is between April 1st and June 30th. So this is where you work with your employer to get all of those details. So one important thing to note is that this is how it actually appears on the selection notice screen, right? Like when somebody logs in, an attorney would see this particular thing. So you see the beneficiary name, the date of birth, the company, the confirmation number, the batch number, and the status. This one you can see 327 selected, right? So this is also shared by attorneys, and you can see this from the last year. So all in all, right, what I'm trying to highlight is that only attorneys can check this. You as an applicant cannot check the results online by yourself. And the reason for that is you're not the one submitting it. So that's why you can't really check it. So if you're under the impression, you can take the beneficiary confirmation number from your submission and do something, it doesn't work like that. Only they can see. So it's just for tracking that numbers. It doesn't mean anything. So employers or the attorneys must log in, and then they only can check it. So that's the important part. And employers receive an action on it, right? That says you can actually download the notice and all of that, right? So currently they get a message saying action on your case. But again, so far we have not been getting these, right? So we will probably see them coming up in the next 1 or 2 days. But so far, not many have reported that, right? So that's the key takeaway. And now in terms of timelines, right? Okay. So results do not come at once. Even though it's electronic, it's count. In this day and age, you may think that once a lottery is done, everybody gets notified. But unfortunately, the way the system is designed is slightly different. So the results come in batches. So not everyone gets notified once. They trickle in over a period of 2 to 3 days, sometimes even 4 days also, right? So don't be worried, right? If you don't get selection notice, you don't hear from employer, you have until March 31st. So the deadline is actually March 31st. So, some get notified first day, some second day, some third day, until USA sends out a notice saying that we have sent everything, you still have hope. That's the fundamental difference, right? So USA usually does send a notification, likely Monday or Tuesday next week, we're hoping, right? Because that's when this ends, right? So that, that's when for sure you are not picked in the first round. Again, don't panic. This is a very nervous time for a lot of you because you might be applying for the last time, all of these, but, it's a lottery. I mean, there is nothing to do with you or your talent. It is just, if you don't get picked, you just have to accept and plan. There's not much you can do. This is the way it is, right? So accept that. Some common FAQs, right? If you haven't received notification, you wait until April 1st. And also what happens is many of these companies, don't notify immediately, right? They have the internal processes. So they will wait to notify everybody in batch. So they will not inform you one-on-one because, unlike a small company, you can't get access to all of these ability guys. So you just have to wait. And again, you can't check your lottery on, you have to work with your employer, right? Again, this is something, let's say you get selected, but they don't want to share notice with you. Again, this is something the employers document. So they, it's up to their discretion, right? So they must share it with you, but, you can't force them also, right? You cannot transfer registration selection notice. You can only transfer after the petition is approved and all of that. Before that, you cannot, right? And the filing deadline is for 90 days, April 1st to June 30th. That's when you will actually be getting all this information, right? So that's the thing. So just key takeaways, right, from this overall. So results are coming in and they will come over the weekend until Monday or Tuesday, right? So just keep an eye, try to softly reach out to your employer or attorney asking if there is an update and all of that, right? But it's weekend, so this is how USCIS typically does. They release on a Friday evening and Friday afternoon, and then it comes on the weekend. That's how it's kind of set up. So it's kind of bad timing, but yeah, that's what it is, right? And results arrive in batches. Wait until April 1st. The first year is the first year we are doing this with wage-based lottery. So selections we are receiving for all wage levels. So it's not working. The lottery is working as expected, right? Only employees can log in, and the filing window is between that, and you cannot transfer. So we also have a tracker, anonymous tracker that we work with H1B Visa Grader. So you can create your registration in there so that it helps the community. So we'll put a link in the description for all of this information. So just check those the two links and then do that. Again, thank you for watching. Do subscribe for getting regular updates.